What's up everybody, How To Tech. We're going to talk about this S7 display removal. So you can see there's a bezel portion on the AMOLED here that fits into the aluminum housing of the S7. The reason I want to explain this to you is to help us doing the screen removal. So the glass actually sits inside of this lip around the aluminum frame. What that means is we can't slide a playing card all the way in and then out this side like the S6, how that was flat. What that means you have to do is remove all the adhesive around the outside edge, then slide the playing card in, hit that, and then pull it forward and lift it off. And that is the successful method I use to remove the display. Now you want to be very careful. If you try to just slip the card in without removing the adhesive or using the card underneath the LCD, you're going to separate these two, and at that point your display is going to be ruined. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go ahead and take our display here and get it nice and warm. Now what I'm going to do is actually use a plastic tipped tool to push the glass up out of the frame. Actually, it's a snap cap if you know what that is. And this will help us get the playing card started underneath. I didn't want to use a metal spudger or anything to start the glass, but I don't want to break it. Trying to remove this. So we're going to get it nice and warm. The one thing that's great about these aluminum framed phones is it does retain the heat pretty well. So we're going to put this tip underneath and slide our playing card in the glass once it gets lifted up. Now I don't suggest using a suction cup, as that's how I broke my last display on the S6. Now we're going to take this playing card and just move it all the way around the side of the top here. Now you don't want to touch the display. The AMOLED is very fragile and it's still adhered down with local glue over the polarizer. With it being warm, it'll start to separate from the polarizer. So we're going to use this playing card and we're just going to basically go towards the end of the bezel of the glass. We don't want to actually hit that actual AMOLED display. Now once you get this corner done pretty well, we're going to go heat up the side of the phone, and then we'll go ahead and remove the adhesive down the side of the phone as well. Now, this is about a 30-minute process to do all of this. Part of it was me being extremely cautious. I'll put it down to about 12 minutes so I don't waste a ton of your time showing you how to do this. So get it nice and warm. We're going to slide our card down. Now right here is where I realize there's still some loca in there. So that's what it will look like if it starts to separate. You want to avoid that, and that's because I touched the AMOLED underneath. So we're just going to take the tip of the playing card and run it down the side of the phone, being very careful. Now, all the way down to the bottom, we're not going to go all the way down, just the side of the phone, as there's still the ribbon cables for the charge ports. Go ahead and heat up the opposite side and stick a playing card in at the top of the device. We'll heat up the opposite side of the phone, and we'll go ahead and remove the adhesive down that side of the device as well. Again, being very careful. This time I don't actually hit the AMOLED underneath. You can see that the loca doesn't spiderweb away. And again, just stopping right here at the bottom. Now we want to make sure we remove all the adhesive across the top here. And the aluminum is very warm. I would suggest using a glove. I'm not smart enough until later in the video to do that. So just being very careful with this. We want to get above the speaker grill here. I can take a little bit of work to get the playing card over that. Just removing all the adhesive down the side. Once we've done that, we're going to go ahead and warm up the back of the phone. And we'll start to do the back removal just like the S6. So heat up the sides. We'll start on the short side first. Have the least amount of adhesive on it. Take our playing card and dip it in. It's really warm on this side. Start to move it back and forth. Stick the playing card in further. And as you get it in, you'll actually feel it push against the edge of the display and kind of break free. And you can actually see it in the video when this happens. This means you've hit the end of the adhesive. We'll push it. This side snaps in. Same thing on the opposite side. That means you've broke all the way through the adhesive. We're going to go ahead and warm up the upper portion and use a piece of a playing card to get underneath this corner right here. Now the adhesive is only right above where the battery compartment is on the phone. There's actually a little logic board across the back of the display that houses the touch and some of the display circuits. You don't want to push too far up into that. Just work our way around the back of the device. We'll go ahead and heat up the opposite side. I put 2 pieces of playing card just holding the display off of the adhesive on the mid frame. So same process here, taking a playing card. This is a little bit tougher because there's a lot more adhesive to get through. Let's work our way back and forth. Get it in as far as you can. Now you don't have to go all the way towards the very end. If you can do that, that's great. Now we're going to take a playing card. We've got enough separation where we can actually take it, put it behind the mid frame and the AMOLED display. Now you have to be very careful at this point because this is where you can crack it. So we're going to slide it in towards the top up here, and we're just working to separate the glue. We're going to do the same thing on the opposite side of the device. We're going to try to separate more adhesive with the playing card from one side to the other at this point. You want to feel it kind of snap in at the edge as well. This will take a little bit more time. Now you can see that it's starting to lift away. So that's where you want to start putting your card in once you can see the actual AMOLED separating from the mid frame. We'll put a card in on the opposite side. And again, this is a very difficult process, and a lot of times it won't be successful. To be very patient. So now we're going to take our playing card. The adhesive stops right at the very bottom of the battery area here as well. We don't want to go too far down because we don't want to damage the charge port ribbon cables that wrap around to the front of the display. So we're going to stop short, just where the color starts on the glass on the front. These my playing cards lined up just about there. I want to make sure we've separated all the adhesive from the all sides of the phone. Now we're going to heat the bottom of the display up. We're going to get it nice and warm. We don't want it to melt anything, but hot enough where we can actually just pull the display away. I'm going to do it nice and slow so the adhesive actually separates away from the glass instead of ripping. And this will help the buttons come off of the glass. They are adhered to the glass behind. We're just going to open it up. And then if they are sticking, you're going to take your playing card and just peel them off the glass. Same thing with the home button. We can pull it forward, and then it'll separate for us. Alright, now we have the display out of the phone. The next step is to go ahead and remove the charge port. We're going to undo the 2 screws that are holding the charge port in place. Take our spudger and peel the cabling up a little bit. There's a little adhesive behind it. Wiggle it back and forth. There's adhesive holding parts of it down. It'll be easier if you remove the adhesive first. There's a little portion where there is a little stud where this button fits onto. Just peel it up. It's adhered onto the mid frame. Go ahead and pull it through. Now we'll go ahead and pull up the microphone. Work our way down towards the back portion of the charge port. I'm just going to loosen this side up just a little bit more. Now we don't have to actually pull this one all the way through yet. You can actually separate the charge port from the rear of the phone. You can also just push it through. And again, removing the adhesive beforehand would be a little bit easier. Alright, now with that done, we can go ahead and pull the charge port back up and out. And pull the last button through. Same thing for the home button ribbon cable. There's a little bit of adhesive behind it. The adhesive on the bottom of the phone here is holding the home button in place. There's a plastic frame around the home button. There we go. Go ahead and remove the adhesive from behind the button and pull this off. Some really sticky adhesive on this phone. That's how they get that IP68 rating. Alright, and there we have it. Every single piece has been removed out of this phone. Now, we all know that everybody loves proof that this actually worked, so I'm going to hook this back up here real quick and turn it back on. We can take a quick look at it working. And one funny thing about this is the display's waiting to boot up, is this 820 gets so hot that it actually feels like I've put the heat gun just on the logic board itself. It actually warms up my desktop. And you can't really even see the little Loca smudge that I had on there. So that's it. We'll go ahead and do a reassembly video in the coming days. If you have any questions, throw up in the comments, subscribe, like, do all that stuff. And just one more thing before I go. I want you to take a look at the back of this logic board. You can see how hot this 820 gets. It actually warms my desk up and actually distorts the little plastic on the back of the board here. It's kind of interesting. Anyways, thanks for watching. Peace.